What's going on? Coach Chad Pennington?
How you guys doing?
Spartans? Coach, man, how's it going?
I'm doing fantastic. How you guys doing?
All right, Coach, doing good.
Good to see you guys. I hadn't talked to you in a while.
Yes, I know you've been. I'm doing there in Marshall. How's it going for him?
Say it again.
How's your son doing in Marshall? How's it been going?
You know what? I appreciate you asking. He's doing well. I thought he had a really good spring. The fall was a big learning lesson for him. He didn't report early, so he was a little bit behind. And then the best thing about the fall was Coach Huff had him take all scout team reps. So he was able to go against the starters every day and kind of learn how to play college quarterback, even though from a scout team perspective, learn what type of balls you can throw, what type of balls you can't throw. He was going against, the starters every day, which is a great learning experience for him. And then he was able to translate that into the spring where I thought he got better. And then he really used his time when he came home to really study, learn protections. We talked about protections and trying to take him through some of those things. So when he went in the summer in June and July, he could really take the next step, which I thought he did. He took a good step. So right now, I think that number 2 position is open, and it's anybody's game as far as, trying to be the number 2 guy. And before you can be number 1, you got to be number 2. So that's his focus right now.
Hey, Coach. Now, as you get ready for this season, Coach, one thing you kind of moved out of that, you took that district on as you were starting the program, and it was, that was a tough draw.
Right.
But now you get a district one, kind of cuts down on travel and everything. This is kind of like a new chapter in the Sayre football program. How is this season going for you?
Well, our number 1 objective here is to remain competitive. When we started this program 5.5 years ago, we said we wanted to create a competitive single A program at Sayre School. I think we've done that. We've been competitive year in and year out now, been able to establish some consistency in that regard. And I think our number 1 goal this year is to now, can we take that competitiveness and move that into the playoffs? Can we be competitive in the playoffs? Can we move past the first round? It started with our realignment here, which, like you said, cuts down on travel. We jumped into District 7 last year or 2 years ago, and we didn't gripe about it, right? We went ahead and we played Pikeville, we played Hazard, we played a lot of tough Eastern Kentucky teams to show that we're not scared to do that. And so I think that's really prepared our program, prepared our team to see what true playoff football looks like at the single A level. And so moving into this year, we're in a different district. And we're also playing more teams in Northern Kentucky. So it'll be an unfamiliar territory for us and a great challenge for us as well.
Now, Coach, man, you lost about 4 seniors. So you was very young last year. That's why you maybe take a little bit of a step back. But, man, you had a lot of young guys who did great things for this program. Charlie Slayball, your son Luke at quarterback, and, of course, I got Brock Kaufman on the offensive side and defensive side. Man, how impressed are you all with this young team, how they was able to battle that tough schedule last year? And is that going to make you all even better this year?
I certainly hope so. I think, like you said, we were kind of a sophomore junior team last year. We only had 5 seniors. One was the only one that played consistently. And so we were a sophomore junior team, and having to go to Eastern Kentucky and play the schedule that we played, I thought our guys handled it relatively well to be able to come out with a 5-5 record. We could have been a little bit better, but we also could have been a little bit worse too. And so that was something I was proud of our guys for being able to withstand that, especially as young players learning what the physical grind of a varsity football player looks like. And we took that experience and we first applied it in the weight room this offseason. I thought our weight room attendance and our guys really focusing in on their physical condition was a step in the right direction. We were actually improved in that area because we know that's what's going to sustain a full season. And so moving into this year, I think, guys, our biggest challenge as a coaching staff is to prepare our guys that there's going to be adversity, that there's going to be other challenges. Just because you're coming back as more of a veteran team doesn't mean that things are going to be simple and they're going to be easy. It's not. You're no longer the hunter. You're the hunted. And that's a different mindset you have to prepare yourself each week, knowing that you can't make a surprise on somebody. You're not going to creep up on somebody, slip up on somebody. I think people around the state know who Sayre football is. And so that means we've got to increase our preparation, our intensity, our focus, so we can be ready for that challenge.
We saw you guys at the EKU 7-on-7. We got a chance to see you guys performing. I think you got to the quarterfinals or the semifinals.
Made it to the. Let's see, what would that be? That'd be You're right. The quarterfinals right, and it'd be the semifinals of that bracket. Correct. Yes.
Against LCA, it was back and forth, a great game. I think it was kind of a battle of attrition as your players started cramping up. It was a hot day. Y'all have been out there a long day.
It was a great day for us. We went 5-1 with, basically 13, 14 kids, being a typical single A program. And I was really proud of our kids. The one thing we do with our kids is we put a lot of information on them. We feel like they can handle a lot of information, which, if they can, really gives them the edge when you're competing against teams that are larger than you, bigger than you, because you can really stay in the game mentally. And I thought our guys did that. I mean, it's a grind to play, 6 to 8 to 10 7-on-7 games in one day in the heat. And our guys, really came through. I put a little bit of that on myself and felt like I could have, in overtime, maybe put our guys in a better position to make a play when I go back and look at it. And that's why football is so great, because it takes all of us, coaches, players, even parents. And we've got great parents as well. But it was a good day for us to showcase who we are, some of the talent that we do have. Just because we're a small single-A school doesn't mean that we can't send kids to college. We've got 4 or 5 guys looking to play college ball in the 2024 class. We're going to have 4 or 5 guys looking to play college ball in the 2025 class. And so the one thing that we talk about at Sayre is, hey, don't chase the logo. Let's chase the experience in college. Go to that program that you know is going to develop you on the field, off the field. You're going to come out with a degree ready to take on the next chapter of your life. And so I thought being at EKU was a great day to showcase our program for sure.
Coach, man, like I said, last year, first year, coming out with a different quarterback, your son Luke, who had a great year, 1700 yards passing. How was a lot of pressure on him to succeed his brother Cole, or did you just tell him, man, play your game? This is all about you now.
I'm sure there's a little bit of pressure, also a little bit of competition. I know, Luke and Cole are really competitive, and so they're trying to outdo each other. And so I know Luke's goal is to break all of Cole's passing stats. That's for sure. There may have been a little pressure, but more importantly, I think for Luke, one of the hardest things for Luke being a sophomore, not being totally physically matured yet, but mentally, he's very sharp, very cerebral. And so I think one of the challenges for him last year is he could see some things open that physically he may not be able to do or could have done as a sophomore, that now as a junior, a little bit more weight on him, definitely more strength, more speed. He'll be able to make some of those plays that he wished he could have made last year. So it was a great learning experience for him. I felt like he handled playing the quarterback position really well. In our program, we put a lot on our quarterback to make pre-snap decisions, post-snap decisions, put a lot of leadership stuff on him. And so, to play that position in our program is hard to do. And I thought he handled it well for a sophomore.
All right, Coach. Now, just kind of looking at this schedule coming up next season, you've got Covington, Holy Cross, Bracken County, Ludlow, Dayton, Nicholas County, Bourbon County. Then you get into your district, Berea, Frankfort, Eminence. Then you end with Bethlehem. Coach, what are your expectations of the team going into this 2023 season?
That's what we're trying to work through now as a staff. As we go through training camp, we just finished our 3rd week, moving into our 4th week this week. We're really trying to find out who we are from a leadership standpoint, who we are as far as our identity on offense and defense and special teams. And so that's an ongoing process. When I look at our schedule, we're facing a Holy Cross Covington team led by Bruce Kazerski, an NFL guy who they're moving down from double to single. They've got great talent. They're ranked, I think, in some polls 6th preseason. So right off the bat, we're jumping right into the fire, and we have to go play them at their place. And so That's going to be a big challenge. Then we come back with the Bracken County team, who's now in AA. And so that'll be a big challenge for our first home game. And then we go to Ludlow, who they'll be fired up. They've got a brand new turf facility. I don't know if you guys have heard about it. Red turf, the whole deal. They'll be fired up, ready to take us on with I think it's going to be their first game played on the new turf in the new facility. So first 3 games are going to be interesting. And Northern Kentucky plays really good football. They really do. And so we're excited about that. Then when you look past that, after our bye week, Nicholas County, a team that always is tough, especially on the road. Got to go to Bourbon County. I think that'll be a big matchup for us, a big test for us, and then moving into district play. One of our challenges, our team is unique, guys, in that we do have a lot of veterans coming back, and then we've got a crop of young players. And so in order to be successful in the district as well as moving into playoffs, I think one of the challenges as a staff is to make sure you're developing your young players who could possibly help you in district play and playoff play. So we've got to, we're going to schedule a few JV games for them early in the season to get them some game reps, which we've never done in the past because we just haven't had the numbers. We've got 44 kids out this year, the biggest we've ever had. And so that's exciting, but also provides a challenge for us to make sure we're developing our young guys so they can be productive and help us later on in the season as well.
Man, well, real quick, while y'all talking about the opposite side of the ball, man, how impressive is Charlie Slayball and Brock Kaufman, them 2 young men playing receiver for you? I know Brock returned some, too, plays defense. Was last year like a comeback party for him and Charlie?
I think so. What's most impressive about Brock is this is essentially his 3rd year playing football. I think he may have played a year or 2 at the most when he was young. But really, this is really his true 3rd year of football. And to be able to do what he's done over the last 2 years and now moving into his junior year is really, really impressive. It shows his work ethic, his commitment, his body starting to change, starting to mature a little bit more, and just his playmaking ability, both offensively and defensively. And like you said, in the return game is special. So we're excited to see his next level of growth because we know he could be a prime Division I college prospect. When you look at Charlie Slayball, that's a 2-sport athlete as well who has offers in baseball, but loves playing the game of football. And he's like our Swiss Army knife. You'll see him at linebacker. You'll see him at running back, at receiver. And he just does a lot of different things. He's very cerebral as well. So defensively, he's like our quarterback on the defensive side, getting people lined up. He loves the mental side of the game. He's one of those guys that just doesn't love to know what he needs to do or what his assignment is. He wants to know what everybody else is doing too. And that's really a strong point of his. So those 2 guys have, taken a big step last year. And so they will certainly be leaders both offensively and defensively moving into this year as well.
Now, as you go into this season, Coach, what's the one area that kind of concerns you about this team as you get ready for this season?
I think for most single A programs, unless you're Pikeville, you're always trying to develop linemen. You're trying to make sure that not only do you have a starting 5 offensive line and a 3 or 4 rotation defensively, you want to develop those other linemen, the reserve linemen that are one day going to be starters, but right now need to provide depth. So that's a big challenge for us, as with most single A schools, trying to find enough linemen. And that way, if you have an injury, you can weather that storm a little bit while he's rehabbing and trying to come back. So developing linemen, we're led by 2 great senior linemen in Tyler Francis and Jack Bernard. Both have small college offers. Both will play small college ball. And now we're trying to find other linemen that can match their expertise and experience as well as their size. And so you look at a sophomore that we have in Wyatt Moore, well over 6'4", 6'5", closing in on 300 pounds. That's a young lineman we're developing. We've moved some guys around that you typically wouldn't think would be linemen, but we think could be great offensive guards and defensive ends and things like that. One thing about single A football for most programs, it challenges you as a staff to be very versatile. You've really got to dive into, okay, where can a player help you? Yes, he wants to play this position, but this is where he'll help us now on Friday night. And you have to have selfless players as well. And we have some players that have been selfless to move positions and really say, Coach, whatever it takes to win, I want to do that. And so that's been good to see as well.
All right, Coach. Coach Bill, you got anything else with Coach Chad?
Hey, man, I'm going to tell you what. You laid the blueprint down on how to build a program. I mean, from playing JV games your first couple of years to not competing last year great like you did the last couple of years to having a decent year last year, man. So hats off to you, your coaching staff, the administration area for getting this program rolling. And, you know, going to be a powerhouse one day in 1A for sure.
Well, we're excited about it. And I think for anybody that's looking to start football, first of all, for your school, it brings so much to your school with community spirit. Friday night football, I've played on all 3 levels. There's nothing like Friday night football. There's just not. It's a special time as a student athlete. And I think the number one goal when you're trying to start a program is you want to create a partnership with your faculty and administration. You want to create a partnership with your parents, because you're working with the most important person in their lives, and that's their sons. And so you want to make sure that they understand that's a huge responsibility and also a huge blessing that you get to be a part of that developmental process, both academically and athletically. And that's what we're trying to do at Sayre.
All right, Coach. My coach, Coach, I appreciate you coming on. Looking forward to big things from my Spartans. Let's go, Coach. Great year.
All right. Thank you, guys. Great seeing you again.
Yes, sir. All right.